Welcome to the Wine Cage. I'm Dylan.
I'm Amanda.
And tonight we're going to Spain. We are drinking Campo Viejo's Rioja Tempranillo 2021 with this lovely, colourful, fun label. And this is, we're not going to mince words here, this is a pretty cheap European wine. But it's good and it's fun. Not to spoil it, but that's what this review is about. This is just about a good, fun, cheap wine that's good enough that, as you can see, the bottle's already empty. And we only opened it last night. So that's already enough of a review in a way. Now, we've been mixing it up and tasting the wine first and then talking about the label. We tried that new format and I hated it. It sucked. It was like going to a restaurant and ordering 3 courses and being brought the main, and halfway through the main having the waiter suddenly rush over and pull your plate away and jam a napkin on your lap and then bring out an entree. It sucked. Was it that jarring for you?
It was terrible.
Yeah. So we're going back to the old format, the way we like to do it. We're going to talk about why we bought the wine, and then we're going to talk about the label and the whole presentation of it, and then we'll get into the nose, the look, and the taste. That order just feels right because we're working our way from looking at the wine to tasting it. So that's how we like it. I learned something interesting when I read a bit about this wine. I already knew the Spanish word bodega, but I did not know that if you put an S on the end, and with bodegas, that means wineries. So just a little bit of education, and I guarantee you it's probably the only bit of education you're going to get in this video. So let's do what we always do and talk a bit about the label. I'm fascinated to hear what you're going to say about this, producer Wolfie, because I think this label's really cool. There's a lot going on, but I feel like it all ties together. There's shapes and gold foil and different strong colors and many different fonts. But I feel like someone very clever has figured out how to make this all work together. What do you reckon?
I more or less agree with you. I will say that from a purely subjective standpoint, I'm not a huge fan of the red and yellow colour scheme, but it's a very tasteful
Windows
label.
Hot Dog.
Windows Hot Dog,
yeah.
yes.
Is anyone old enough to remember Windows Hot Dog? I mean, it was the best theme you could put.
Well, you've just placed yourself in time for our audience.
I was using the internet in 1960s. Ahead of my time.
Indeed. Back to the label. The production quality on this is great. They spared no expense, you might say. Like you said, there's gold foil. The label itself is die cut. And they've got even a spot gloss on the name of the wine there, which is quite fancy. Overall, it's very balanced, very tasteful design, and it feels Spanish, which, like you said, is fun.
Yeah. It's fun. Yep. So, yeah, great label. Good fun. Let's see if I can reach over producer Wolfie, who is cooking me here and making mobility difficult.
Yeah.
So look-wise, don't have much to say. It's that real middle of the road thing. It's not completely opaque. There's a bit of a nice, bright pinky purple transparency to it.
It's got a bit of a glow.
It's making a lovely pattern sticking to the glass. Let's see how it smells. What do you think? You got thoughts on that yet?
It smells good.
Yeah. The thing with the nose on this one is that there's, at least for me, there's little to report. It doesn't have a strong nose. It just smells kind of dry, little bit of sweetness, little bit of spice. It's just fine. There's nothing offensive to the nose, but there's not much to report about it. Do you agree on that?
I agree. I think it smells good.
It smells good, just not much characteristic in the nose.
To me, it smells quite spicy with a little bit of sweetness. All of those are good smells, though. It doesn't have any sort of strong smells, which, can be good or bad, but let's see how it tastes, shall we?
All right. My first thoughts on this taste-wise is that it's a very easy drinker. And that was our experience last night, and that's why the bottle's gone. This is all that's left. It's easy drinking. I think on the first taste, before food, it does have a little bit of sharpness. That disappeared on the second taste. This is smooth, balanced, a really well-executed balance between spicy and sweet. I think it's got some extra interesting characteristics within there of kind of woody tastes and natural tastes, herbs, timber. Yeah, it's got a bit of that. It's quite juicy. It's quite, it's not often you can say about a red wine. It's not often that you would want to say this, that it's kind of thirst quenching. This has that property. Once again, explaining why we got through it so quickly. What are your thoughts on the taste of this one?
I agree. It's a solid drinker. It's just sort of nice. It's very sweet and spicy, not in a sweet wine kind of way, but just in a in the same way that like a rich dark chocolate cake might be sweet.
Yes.
It's just very balanced.
It even has notes of chocolate, not a dark chocolate, but almost like a milk chocolate, a middle of the road sort of chocolate flavor running through it.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of that. But this wine is just interesting to me because it seems to sit in its own category. I feel like it would be silly to bang on about, nuanced tasting notes for this one. It's not that it's not... that it doesn't have some interesting flavors and evolution to it. It's just that it's a simple wine and it's a really good drinker. More so than I would say the middle of the road kind of cheaper mass appeal wines that are produced in Australia. I guess that makes sense. In Europe, you get these naturally more rounded and often a bit sweeter wines, but this one, it was about $16 when he bought it. So cheap. It's a cheap wine, but it's really good. And really good, I would say, for something like with a barbecue or something during the day. And also, if you were going to buy multiple bottles for a function or something, this would be a good one for that. You got any other thoughts on what's going on with this one?
Not really, although I would like to comment that this is becoming more and more unusual, but this one had an actual cork.
Yes.
So
had to get out the old corkscrew for this one. And I have to admit, I slightly bungled it. A bit of the corkscrew came through the side of the cork there, and I was a bit worried about whether I was going to wreck it overnight. Not an issue because we drank most of it, and it's fine tonight anyway.
Yep.
But yeah, Campo Viejo's Rioja Tempranillo 2021. I love this, and at this price, I would buy it again, just like the Colinas de Lisboa Pinot from Portugal. Just like I would buy that over and over. I think I would buy this again. It's not that I would be super excited about, the adventure of the different flavors that it's going to impart. It's not quite like that. It's just that it's juicy, spicy, sweet, satisfying, super easy to drink, fun to drink if you want to put a few away. So I think it lives up to the whole vibe of the label in that it's just a fun, easy drinker. Now, the all-important rating.
Ooh.
What are you going to give this one?
That's a tough one for me. I would probably put this for myself at a solid 7.
Okay, yeah. I'm actually going to give this a 7.5 because once again, I'm trying to rate things not only on the quality of the flavor, but on what it's trying to achieve. And I feel like this one's really achieving what it's setting out to do, in that it's being just a fun, smooth, easy drinker. So yeah, recommend this one. Definitely worth trying, especially at the price. Thanks for joining us again on the Wine Cage, and we hope to see you on the next one. Cheers.